The new millennia has finally set in, and with the new millennia, it brings in a new type of genre in the metal scene. That genre being nu metal. Nu metal bringing in so many pioneering bands: Korn, Limp Bizkit, Linkin Park, Deftones, you name it. And one of those bands that went all the way to the top being Slipknot. Prior to 2001, Slipknot would already release their debut album, self-titled Slipknot, which would bring them so much fame and notoriety. But with that fame and notoriety, it brought a lot of demons their ways. You see, with all that fame and them being super young at the time, them probably being in their like early to late 20s, they didn't really know how to handle the fame and all the fortune that came their way all suddenly, which led to a lot of them deeping down into drug abuse, alcohol abuse, and mental health issues. Even though most of the band already struggled with mental health issues prior to that. So when 2001 came around, there was just so much just darkness and dread within the band that at some points it almost led to the whole band breaking up. So when 2001 rolled around, Slipknot would release their second studio album, the one we'll be talking about today, Iowa. Now, before I get into the analysis of the music on this album, I want to talk about the background of, the band for people who don't know what Slipknot is. So one thing that made Slipknot so appealing back in 2001 was the fact that they still, at this point, were still pretty anonymous. You never saw their face. You only knew their numbers, their names, and their mask. And I'm pretty sure if you don't know who Slipknot is, I'm pretty sure you've seen their mask at least one time in your life. But right now I'm going to name the OG members in chronological order. So number 0, we have Sid Wilson, who was the DJ of the group. Number 1, Joey Jordison, who was the drummer of the group. Paul Gray, number 2, who was the bassist of the group. Number 3, Chris Fenn, one of the percussion of the group. Number 4, Jim Root, one of the guitarists in the group. Number 5, Craig Jones, he was samplers in the group. Number 6, Sean Crahan, he is also one of the percussionists in the group. Number 7, Mick Thompson, one of the guitarists in the group. And number 8, Corey Taylor, of course, the vocalist of the group. The one voice you most likely hear and if you listen to any Slipknot song. So now that we got the background out of the way and basically giving you context of who Slipknot is, I'm gonna go over basically song by song on the album, starting with the first song, of course, 515. So 515 being the area code for Iowa, where everyone in the band was from, to say the least, isn't really a song. It's more of an intro, but to be honest, it really sets a tone for exactly what this album is going to be. And to give a little story of what this first track is basically Sid Wilson, the DJ, having a mental breakdown. So let me give you context. In the making of Iowa, Sid's grandfather was currently not well. So basically, in the process of that, Sid was trying to go to see him, but before he was able to see his grandfather, he already passed away. So basically, what happened is the people in the band gave Sid Wilson the chance to just, let it all out. And I feel like I'm not gonna play the whole songs on this video because, of course, I don't want to get fucking blocked by Roadrunner Records. But I feel like for you guys to just get the tone of how dark and depressing this whole album is, I'm gonna play the whole 515. It's very short, but this song, the first track really sets a tone for just how this album really is. The next song is probably their most famous, one of the most well known songs off this album. People Equal Shit. This song is pretty much self-explanatory. It's just kind of like explaining why people are fucking bad. But this song, personally, I generally can say this. I've listened to this album like probably like at least like 3 times already, right and back. But this song is pretty much, I guess just how the band felt. They generally hated the world. They hated themselves. They hated each other. So pretty much the only way they could say it was that, people equal shit. Next up on the album is Disaster Piece. Oh my gosh, when I tell you this song is the definition of not a disaster piece, but a masterpiece. See what I did there? It's 5 minutes of just absolute just mayhem. Like, and the thing is, like, at this point, this was like Joey Jordison at his fucking finest right now, and just listening to like the drums and Corey Taylor's fucking brutal vocals on this song is just amazing. And also this is definitely one of not one of, but the best song in my opinion from Slipknot, because it just shows how fucking amazing and how fucking talented everyone in this band is. Next up, number 4, we have My Plague. Now, My Plague was one of the songs that featured a single of the album, solely because My Plague was used for the Resident Evil movie that was coming out in that time. And My Plague, I feel like, is very underrated. It really shows off, Corey Taylor's like singing voice, because at this time Corey didn't really show off that he had like this like kind of melodic side to him. He didn't really show that off until the next album, which would be the subliminal verses. But yeah, My Plague, very underrated and really good song. Yeah. Next, number 5, we have Everything Ends. Now, Everything Ends is one of those songs, like, when I was listening to this, like, album, like, this, the first time around, there were, like, a lot of songs that I kind of skipped, because at that time, I was still kind of new to Slipknot. I've only listened to, like, their recent stuff, and I was like, I don't know how I'm going to feel about the songs. There's a lot of songs on this album that I just kind of, like, skipped, because I didn't really know about them. But after my second listen and actually listening to the whole album, it made me think, Jesus Christ, this shit is heavy. Everything Ends it's borderline death metal, actually, because this whole album is classified as new metal, but there's a lot of songs on here that pretty much are just death metal. Case in point, the next song, which we'll get into. But yeah, Everything Ends. Brutal song. Next, we have number 6, the Heretic Anthem. This song, number 3 on my book. Number 3 of Slipknot books. Slipknot songs, not books, songs. But this song is crazy. It's pretty. Yeah, if Everything Ends is borderline death metal, Heretic Anthem is death metal. It's crazy. It's like the ultimate headbanger. And if you want to know how freaking insane this song is, I want you to just go and search up Heretic Anthem at Conan 2002. That is probably one of the craziest live renditions of Heretic Anthem ever. And the crazy thing was, usually you would see like freaking like these like bass drums and all these quadruples and timpanis everywhere on the stage. But when they're on Conan, it was only you only had Joey on the drums, Paul in the back with the bass, And Corey, of course, tearing up on the vocals, and you had like Nick and Jim, fucking shredding it on the guitar, and then all the other percussionists are just banging their head, and it's insane. I'm gonna link it down in the description, but you guys have to watch it. It's fucking insane. And next we have Gently. Gently is it fits the mood of this whole album, because this whole album is trying to it's not trying to, it is just gonna be edgy as fuck. Cause Gently is like this song that just kind of invokes this kind of like, I don't know how to describe it, but like just like disgustingness and stuff. And it also gives us Corey Taylor's probably most incredible vocal range, where he fucking like just tears out his fucking esophagus and goes super high when he says, oh shit. I love that part of the song. And next we have number 8, Left Behind. Honestly, I feel, other than Disaster Piece, People Look at Shit, honestly, a lot of the songs are kind of just like on my list of like top 10. But like Left Behind is that song I listen to daily. Like the intro, the fucking just how insane it is, how brutal it is, how heart pumping it is just crazy. But yeah, Left Behind is just a song, generational song, and yeah, it's just crazy. Next we have number 9, The Shape. Now, for the next, I guess, the next 3 entries here, 3 track lists, a lot of them are underrated. Like, a lot of them probably get passed off because, of course, they're not as popular as the other songs. But like, on my second listen, these songs were amazing, especially The Shape. The Shape is like, wow. Like the flow and all that stuff, and just like, and also in this one, you really get to hear a lot of Corey Taylor's melodic voice. Again, you don't hear that until the subliminal verses in the next album, but in this one, he shows off, a lot of his like, I guess, vocal range and how he can actually sing instead of screaming and stuff. So. And next we have number 10, I Am Hated. This one would probably be the most nu metal song on this album. It's pretty much Corey Taylor rapping. And in this song, you can really, really tell that Corey was pissed off. And just like hearing all that shit, and then there's that one part with the fucking break, and he's just fucking going with the fucking melody and stuff. Like it goes insane. It goes insane. I'm telling you, if you're into rap and you want to venture into like rock, I'm pretty sure you should listen to I Am Hated. That song is definitely for the rap fans and stuff. But that's just my opinion. But And next we have Skin Ticket. This is probably the second most disturbing song on this album, next to the last song, which we'll get to. That has a backstory to it. But Skin Ticket is kind of just like a song that just kind of like, you would think that, a weird guy would listen to. It's probably, it probably also shows off Corey Taylor, just like how fucking brutal his scream is and stuff. Especially the part where he says like, "Let me go." Yeah, you gotta listen to the album, you need to hear it. But I'll probably put it in the video. But there's probably gonna be a little snippet of the song of each song after I'm done talking about it. But yeah. And next we have New Abortion. Crazy name, I know. But New Abortion, that song, I kind of mixed feelings about it. Like, it's probably one of the most forgettable songs that I've listened to on this album. it's a song that I don't really go back to. It's good, but it's not one of those songs that like I'll just be like on repeat and stuff. And the second to last song, number 13, would be Metabolic. Metabolic is a good song. It's a good song. I like it a lot. There's a lot of good lines in there. There's a lot of good lines and a lot of good verses in there. And the chorus and hook is crazy. I love it. It's insane. And then we have number 14, Iowa. Yes, the name of the album. Iowa, to say the least, is probably one of the most notorious songs in this album, and probably the notorious song in the whole of Slipknot. Because the story behind Iowa is just extremely disgusting. With it being 15 minutes, a lot of people kind of pass it off because it's too long. But honestly, for me, I just love the bass line. I love just how fucking real it sounds. I'm telling you right now, you can listen to any other metal song and try to sing like, oh, this thing is heavy, this thing is brutal and stuff. Like there's a lot of songs out there that are heavy, and there's very few songs. And when I tell you that those songs are heavy, I'm telling you there's like I think like 2 songs that I know that will actually make me like feel disgusted. No, 3 songs that actually make me feel disgusted, and Iowa is one of them. Because the backstory for Iowa is that it is about a dude who basically is a necrophile, person who fucks dead people. But basically, Corey Taylor wanted it to feel as real as possible. So while recording Iowa, he basically was slitting his wrist with broken glass, to make it seem real. And you can tell that he is in so much pain with just how fucking like guttural and how like just like those moans of pain in the song. And like I'm just telling you right now, this is one of the songs. If you don't listen to any other song on this album, when I tell you to, one song you gotta listen to is Iowa. That is the epitome, and it brings all this mess and all this pain that Slipknot was going through during this time and during the recording of this album together. And it's crazy how, honestly, how they survived after this. Because, like, again, at this point, they were going through some demons. Like, a lot of them were just suffering through a lot of drug abuse and alcohol abuse. And like, at some points, again, like I said, the band was almost fucking done during this time. Like, they almost just, like, quit. Even then, after this album, they completely just stopped talking to each other until, like, they're the making of their third album, the Subliminal Verses. But, like, just think about that. This whole album almost destroyed Slipknot, in my opinion. Because, like, just, like, how much pain and anguish and, like, just, like, darkness had to go into this album just to create such a fucking masterpiece is insane. And in my opinion, a lot of people want to, like, be all dark and edgy and stuff, but there's, in my opinion, you can't really have edgy if you don't have the pain like fucking the Iowa era of Slipknot. And that's a fact. And that, my friends, is pretty much a quick dummies rundown of Iowa by Slipknot. I'm pretty sure, again, like I said, you can probably find a better analysis somewhere else. But I do recommend, if you guys want to, or if you guys are into the genre, I suggest checking out Iowa. Also, to move on away from the topic of this video, my first video in like 4 months. But yeah, again, it's the thing, of life, college, the college is finishing up, and also I'm now becoming an adult and having to do adult things. So like, you know, YouTube isn't really, you know, something that I can do daily as a daily basis like I did back in like 2020, 2021. So, you know, I was gonna say that right here, right now. Just a fair warning that if I go on a next hiatus, it's probably gonna be permanent. But you know, I'm gonna be here till, you know, I guess the wheels fall off. But you know, with that being said, this is the end of the video. So like always, like, subscribe, comment, share with everyone you know, and yeah.